Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through a dynamic effort upper workout, and later in the video, I'm going to be talking to you about lifestyle, sleep, alcohol, and other types of cardio and sports. But first, this is me doing my dynamic effort benching for the week. It is the second week in my 3-week dynamic wave. So I've got 3 sets of 5 at 85% total 1 rep max of resistance. 38% of that is coming from the bar weight, and the other 47% is coming from the band tension. These moved very well. I'm finding the new programming of 3 sets of 5 to be very beneficial. The bar speed is much faster, and that is what dynamic effort training is about, trying to move the weight as fast as possible. So very happy with that. Moving on to the accessories, I started off here with overhead tricep extensions. Now I went really heavy and did sets of 3. This felt so close to my max, but I do find it beneficial sometimes to go really heavy on some accessories. The neurological adaptations you get from going very heavy when training for strength is very high, particularly when you've built up a respectable amount of muscle mass. I think that in general, my muscle mass is greater than my strength level at the moment. There are people who are the same size as me who are way stronger, so I can afford to work on neurological drive more than just having to accumulate mass with my accessories. Then I did camber bar rows next. As you're seeing now, the camber bar is literally just to give a bit of extra range of motion to make sure that the bar doesn't bash into my belly like it does with normal barbell rows, and these felt really good. And I did some shrugs as a sort of superset thing at the end of the second set. Then I did incline dumbbell press, which the first set was an absolute disaster. I'd easily done 40 kilos earlier in the week, so I decided to go up to 50 kilo dumbbells, but I literally couldn't get them up into place. You'll be able to see it's such a struggle and a grind to get them set into the starting position that it ruined that first set. I think I only got like 3 reps, which was disappointing. So I took my shoes off for extra leg drive and dropped the back pad a bit and managed to get at least 6 reps on the second set. But I think the fight on that first set just ruined me mentally and fatigued me physically. So they did not go quite to plan, but we move on anyway. So after them, I did dumbbell side lateral drop sets, and I tried to really control the weights and almost hold them for an isometric at the top position, which obviously feels impossible with side laterals, and they just sort of got dragged down for the eccentrics, and that pumped up my shoulders so much. I didn't train my delts for many years, and now I am training them consistently, and doing those side laterals felt fantastic for them. Then after that, I did alternating bicep curls, and I did a drop set on the second set. Not much to say about those. They move pretty well. And then I ended off with sit-ups. So I did actually train my abs this session and didn't skip them because they'd finally recovered from the session a week before. And I didn't train them too hard and have crazy DOMs. Today, at the time of recording, it is this voiceover, it is the day after, and I'm able to at least sit up in my bed, so I should be able to train my abs again next session and not have to skip again. So whilst those accessories are playing in the background, I'm going to talk to you about lifestyle. So the first main point when it comes to lifestyle and training, whatever your athletic goals, is sleep. Now, you've probably heard this many times before, and I'm going to include a few of my own tips about sleep which you might not have heard, but sleep is the most important thing that you can do for recovery. It is like the greatest natural performance enhancer ever. If you could go from 4 hours to like 9 hours sleep, that is literally like the difference in recovery from taking like some sort of enhancement drug. Honestly, it is unbelievable. So I advise you aim to try and get at least 8 to 9 hours per night, but more importantly, you need to try and have good sleep hygiene. So what that means is, one, good actual hygiene, like shower before you go to bed. Don't like be disgusting and sweaty and stick to the sheets and everything. But it also means to control like the temperature of your room. We generally drop our body temperatures when we go to sleep, and we sleep better when it's cold. I think that's an adaptation because obviously the temperature naturally drops at nighttime. So that is a good thing if you allow the temperature in your room to drop. However, if it is too hot, that can ruin the quality of your sleep. You can be tossing and turning all night. And And something that is hard is if you're in a relationship, the person who you're with might want the bed much hotter than you do. There are mattress toppers you can buy that individually can control the temperature at each side of the bed. I have heard that they can be absolutely revolutionary. So if you are in a relationship and your partner is making you boiling and ruining your sleep quality all night, maybe look at investing in one of those mattress toppers, because it is going to be the number one thing you can do for recovery and for everything. Just like whatever job you have in life, it is better to be prepared. You're better, stronger, faster, smarter, and more patient when you have had good sleep. The other thing for sleep hygiene is try not to be like doom scrolling on your phone for hours before you go to sleep. One, just being on your phone in your bed sends the signal to your brain that like being in bed is not a place of sleep and rest, it's a place of being on your phone, which is not ideal. But two, like the large exposure and stimulation you get from your phone is going to keep you awake. Your head's going to be buzzing, so try and avoid that before sleep. Now, I know these things can be hard to try and achieve if you have kids. If you do have kids, all you can do is as much as you can. Obviously, if they're waking you up in the middle of the night, that's just the reality. Sucks to be you. You decided to become a parent. The only thing I would say is, again, coming back to the phone thing, if you're honest with yourself, parents, if you put the kids to bed at like, I don't know, 7 or 8, how many of you have obviously some you time in the evening, but then go to bed at like 10 and doom scroll till midnight? Like, if that's what you're doing, then you're sort of sabotaging yourself. And if you're honest with yourself, you could probably optimize your sleep a bit more. Another thing that is hard is jet lag. If you're having to travel constantly, that could be something that's difficult to overcome as well. And for both kids and jet lag, I would advise investing in magnesium supplements. Now, this isn't super effective for everybody, but I have seen many people completely transform their sleep since taking magnesium. It literally like knocks them out into a deep sleep. So if you're traveling and you have to try and sleep on planes, that could be a great idea. And the final thing for helping you sleep is to try and reduce your alcohol, because that just decimates your quality of sleep. So I'll move on to alcohol next. Alcohol is in general just a catastrophe when it comes to training. It nukes the quality of your sleep. When we're talking about sleep hygiene, alcohol just makes your head spin and you never really get good restful sleep. It then affects your consistency and motivation. How many times do you skip workouts because of alcohol? Or even if you go into the gym, it's just not as an effective session. It then also adds like meaningless calories and encourages you to eat poorly, eat terrible foods. Like, you don't want to eat protein when you've had alcohol. You want to eat loads of fats and carbs. So alcohol in general, just try and keep it to a minimum, and always use something called the 8 out of 10 rule. That is, every small decision in your life, ask yourself, how important is this to me? Is it an 8 out of 10 or higher? So if you're on a night out, maybe the first glass of wine or something is really important to you. Maybe it's a 9 out of 10 if you've gone to see some friends. But the 12th glass of wine is probably not at least an 8 out of 10. Maybe it's like a 2 or a 1 out of 10 and you just think, well, I've ruined everything anyway, I might as well have this. No, save your money and save your body. It will be better not to have those extra drinks. So that's how I'd moderate alcohol. And then the last thing to cover with lifestyle is if you are doing other cardio or sports, low intensity, steady state cardio is the best, because that'll not impact your recovery for your weight workout, but all types of cardio are great. And obviously you might be training to actually help a different sport, in which case obviously you want to do that sport. Doing more cardio is fantastic, because the fitter you are, the better your work capacity is, and that means you could do more total work in general. You can handle more volume in your training because you're a fitter human being. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all of that good stuff, and have a great day.